Good morning. It's Friday, misty morning, late October. We're going to finish off the compost bins today. We're going to make the final one. We've got 2 compost areas and a leaf mulch area, and we're going to have one more, and then that completes what we need for this size garden. Let's take you to where this is going to be. So we are going to put it there, somewhere in there. I don't know exactly how close to the hedge. I want to be able to still get to the hedge to cut it. At the moment I've got this waste from that conifer that we cut down, but it's also kind of keeping the rabbits out as well. So I might leave that there and then put it just in front. I think I'm going to do a single bay rather than the 3 bay main one, and it'll go fairly high. And we'll use it mainly for the main bed. So any waste from the main bed we can just pop here. As I say, it's a really misty morning, very autumnal. It's not cold. So let's make sure we've got enough wood. We have got 2 big fence posts down there, and then we've got plenty of, well, I say plenty, we've got 6x1s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and about 14. I think it'll take most of that. We may even find that we can get so far with it and then need to order some more wood. I've got through a hell of a lot of wood this last few weeks. I don't think I've taken you here. This is the behind the woodshed side of the fence. That's where one of the other compost areas is, and then we've got our field where the cows will come and visit us shortly, I'm sure, as soon as they hear that I'm working here. It is 2:45. We've been busy. So beforehand, when we took over the garden, bought the house, that was the composting area, and they had a tiny little leaf mulch cage as well. So now we still have those, a bit of food waste. We have this behind the shed, which is already 3/4 of the way full, and then the main composting area, the 3 bay one, where we're going to use the 2 outer bays to make the compost and then store the compost in the middle one when it's ready, is here in the main garden. Again, all full. That's still got to be processed. That's got to be shredded and put into one of the other 2. But yeah, that's already rotting away quite nicely. Couple of 3 months, and that's good. We have a much bigger leaf mulch bin, which we made the other day. And now the latest addition, and probably final one, but I'm not sure, never know, is over there behind the walnut tree. Now in the autumn you can see it a little bit more in the winter, but for a lot of the year this will be totally covered. And that is the monster. It's the biggest one we've made so far. I've not done slide in front to it. I can just easily take those slats off the front whenever I need to. I'll put it slightly lower at the front so that we can get stuff in, and that has got huge capacity. So we will not run out of space. to make our compost. So that's been a good day. Just at the back of here as well, we still can store all the woody stuff that hasn't been shredded yet or is too big to shred. So yeah, there's still some space at the back there. But from what was pretty much a dead space is now really, really important part of the garden. Another addition we have is this bench grinder, so we can sharpen all our blades on here. I had one at a previous home 20 odd years ago. I found it really useful. That's a nice smooth one there. That's the coarser one there. I'm going to put that in the shed. It's not got electricity in the shed, but I'm going to just run an extension lead to it whenever I need it. So that will go onto the new bench. Let's put that there. That will be useful. We also got another one of these trays, so we can mix our compost in there, mix it with grit or perlite or whatever. A couple of other things coming soon, but again, this is just starting to be a very useful space. It is a beautiful morning. Been out about half an hour. Kirsten's been cutting down shrubs and just generally tidying up the border. I'm cut out a bit more and defined this edge much better than it was. And Jenny's been a complete little sod and has got filthy already. The cows have been joining us. They're very interested in everything that's happening. Hello. They've investigated the new compost bin and I think they approve. But it is just a stunning day. Clocks went back last night, so I think we got out here about 7:30. But it's been gorgeous. It's a lovely temperature. Fresh, but yeah, really good to work in. I cut the grass yesterday just to basically collect leaves more than anything else. But I also sorted out, cut out a lot of the dead and the lower branches of the horse chestnut. And also the oak tree. Jenny's teasing the cows. So yeah, got quite a lot of old dead branches that I could reach. And as well as getting rid of the dead so that it doesn't sort of like rot into the actual living tree. It's also created quite a bit more space up here, which is nice because when we look from the house we can see into the fields more. I was looking out earlier from upstairs and in the field just behind that hedge I saw 2 deer. It really is very idyllic this morning. It is all the time, but especially this morning. Right, better crack on. So we've tidied up this section. Fatsia japonica, rhododendron, the pittosporums, cleaned up all under here, took a lot of dead out of that, and that looks 10 times better than it did. We also, something had self-seeded itself, or just down here, one of the small rhododendron. And what we've done is, in Kirsten's section of the front, so this is the section that Kirsten's doing, sorting herself out on, is just there. That is a free plant. she's going to put that near the hedge at the back there. Be perfect in this sort of semi-shade. And she's going to work on that next. And me and Jenny will continue to work in this area. Look at the little sod. Oi! What are you like? Come here. Look at all this dirt. Look at it. Are you ashamed? You should be. Still absolute gorgeous weather. We just had some early lunch with the clocks going back. We were sort of like eating our lunch at 10:30, 11:15. But I've marked this out, and what I'm going to do is create a straight edge all the way along down here, and you can see just basically at the moment there's no definition. It just still sort of merges, but what we're going to do is have a really good sort of straight edge all the way along and cut that out and see how that looks. It's just about finished us off, this, hasn't it?
Absolutely.
Right, so we've managed to finish this between the two of us. We have got a fairly straight line all the way down there. Nicely sort of defined from the border. It used to all sort of merge into one. It'd be a lot easier to cut the grass and to edge it. And we've done loads of work in the borders today. These are now looking like new shrubs again. Took so much rubbish out of them. And this is as far as the border's going to go. We've decided we were toying with the idea of making it even bigger, but that is a nice wide border, a good sort of 10 foot wide all the way along there, and then opening out even more here. So when we do our proper long-term planting next year, those verbenas are just there over winter, as are the crocosmia and the agapanthus. But yeah, that has massively moved on now. But it is now 1:45 on a Sunday afternoon, and I am knackered, and I'm going to go and pour myself a beer, watch some football, and do bugger all for the rest of the day. Good morning. It is Wednesday. I've ordered myself some boots, so I'm just making a bit of space in the garage. So I said I was getting myself some new boots, didn't I? Here they are. And one or two others. It's nice to have a choice. Come on, this way. Let's go do some jobs. Come on. Good morning. It's Friday morning, 1st of November. Had a busy week. One thing or another. It's been a really good week. But today, I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. So Jenny wants to play stick. Do you want to play stick? Can't do that all day. So yeah, I've not been massively on the garden this week. Had a load of businessy stuff to do. So I've been mainly doing that. Kirsten's been doing her section down there. Really started to clear that nicely. Rhododendron, new one in there that I took from the other one. We do want to get that fern out because I'd like that fern in the sort of woodlandy area over there. Obviously we took out this border to define it better. I've got some big wads of turf which I want to turn and put in the sort of lower, thinner parts of the soil, and that will become decent topsoil. So what do we do today? I've got to wash the car, but that's not very interesting for you guys. Let's have a look. I've started filling this already, but there's loads of space in there. That will be really adequate for most of the rest of the year. I'll put some grass seed down here, and it is starting to grow. I can see. So that's good. I did start a job yesterday. Where do we want to be? Right. I started a job yesterday. There's just a corner of the plot which is a bit vulnerable to the cows. They can stick their massive heads through the barbed wire and really get into what is our garden, basically. It's a back little section of the garden. So behind here, so this is ours, and that barbed wire fence is just not solid enough. So what we have done, we had some pallets from the that boot delivery that I showed you, and we're just going to build up a bit of protection all around this section. So I've attached these. It doesn't look great, but basically nobody sees this. It's just on the only people that the only things that see this are the cows. But what it will do, it will just keep them. It gives a sort of secondary fence. So there's our fence. This is our boundary around here. And when we get enough pallets, this will now create a decent sort of protection. We'd found a load of our compost, things that we put in the compost, had been discarded down here. So they'd reached over and helped themselves to a lot of the composting material. We don't want that. So this will keep them away. So I'm going to continue doing a bit of this now. That last one isn't attached. And then we still are about 3 pallets short, which I've got no orders coming in the next week or two. So I'll have to sort of search around, see if I can get some pallets. Or otherwise I can just leave it until we do get pallets. We start the day just doing my normal jobs, unlocking the sheds and the garages and stuff, putting the recycling out, all the old boring standard stuff that everybody does. Hang on, I can't get my bloody hand around now. Oh, that's not very good, is it? That's ridiculous. There, done it. What I've just ordered for this place is, I've ordered some of those lights, those battery operated lights that you can just fix onto the ceiling in here. And I don't know if they come on automatically or you just have to click them. But I was just noticing that basically in here yesterday when I was working, it's just a bit too dark. It doesn't look too bad with this through the camera or through the phone, whatever, but it's quite dark in here. So I've ordered 4 lights to fit up there. I'll probably just put 2 up and see if that helps, and then use the others if necessary, otherwise keep them when not needed. But yeah, ordered that. Ordered some plastic sheeting so that we can build up some of these beds. So we're going to use the main patch as a vegetable patch next year still. We're not going to do anything else with it. We're going to work out where the foundations are for his old pond exactly, and we're going to build up some nice tall beds, a lot taller than these, maybe twice the size, fill it with soil and compost, and yeah, grow stuff in here. I might also build up that bed, which is literally 3 or 4 inches off the ground. And we might put some protection on them. This seems to have really worked. This is the one that's had that bit of protection. It doesn't stop the pigeons, but they're less likely just to wander onto it. And as you can see, these weren't planted until August, and that is looking very healthy. Everything we've grown in there is looking healthy. So it is stopping something getting to it. So if we can make nice tall beds here, I think that'll be a decent size veg patch in this section. So yeah, I've got some plastic membrane to fit on the inside of the wood to protect the wood. I'll order some tannalized timber, some pressure treated timber in the next few days, and we'll crack on with that next week perhaps. A load more stuff to burn. That is actually off the neighbour's house, neighbour's sort of hedging. It's a bit of a long story, but basically nobody really lives there. It's an old guy, and he's got another house which he lives in, and he just keeps this because he doesn't like to let it go, because it's his house that he had with his wife for many, many years. But unfortunately, that's a nice old story. It has gone to neglect a little bit, so we all paid a price for it, because either side of his are basically just overrun trees. The ivy's taking over everything, and it's a bit annoying. So ivy all the way along there, it's pushing through this fence here. There's elder coming over, there's conifer. I have actually talked to the guy. He's a nice guy, nice old guy, but I don't know why he's keeping hold of it. And just basically nobody lives there, and the garden is in absolute state. It really is. And all the sort of thugs, the elder and the ivy and stuff, are just going out of control. I have no idea who will actually get hold of that garden and what they'll do to get hold of it. It basically needs a bulldozer. Look, that's the top of his shed. So I'm going to cut this today. It's coming over. The only reason I've not done it earlier is absolutely covered in wasps and bees for the last couple of months. But yeah, I'll get rid of that today. I've just had a delivery of some broad beans, and these are autumn sown broad beans. So I'm going to pop those into some pots and then put them into the greenhouse just in case. I know broad beans are really hardy, but it'll just keep any pests off them, in particular mice. We've got lots of little mice running around, particularly in the night time. So let's keep them safe until they're at a certain stage, and then we'll plant them out sometime in the winter. So these are to be harvested around June time, if we can get them in now. It'll be a little bit earlier than if we were to sow them in the spring. So what we've got. We have got 10, 20, about 30. So what we got here, 18. Oh, so if we do 2 into each one, I reckon that will be ample space to bring them on. So I've got the setup now. We've got the big tray with a nice scoop and a new pack of compost, John Innes enriched multi-purpose compost. So we'll get some of this in here and get sowing. Had quite a busy morning, mainly working on next door's hedge. It's a bit annoying because it's not really my job to do that. He's supposed to be looking after that, but as I say, he's not. He doesn't live there, and he's been there twice since we've been here, which is nearly 4 months now. And he cuts his grass just about, and makes an attempt to do his hedges, although he can't sort of reach to do the tops of them. So I think our side of the hedge will be his lead priority. There's no way he'll be doing anything, so I've got to cut it from this side. So I'll show you that in a minute, what I've done so far. But these go a couple of inches. Hang on, that's not firm enough. Let me push those down a bit. Just add a little bit more. Yeah, these are sown about 1.5 to 2 inches deep. And just simply plonk them on the top and push them in. Could not be any simpler. So yeah, we've got 6 cells in each, so we'll put 2 in each. 12 in here, 12 in that one, and I reckon there'll be about 30, 36, which will be perfect. See how many germinate. So this afternoon I'm going to wash the car, and I am going to get a few more jobs done around the side. My woodshed area just needs a good sort out, basically. So that is this afternoon's plan. I'm on my own most of the weekend. Kirsten's got to go back to Nottingham to look after her mum. So I'll get on with some jobs tomorrow. We'll try and get this this vlog uploaded tonight if Kirsten's got the time. Because that's her department. I ain't got a clue how it all goes on. It's just by magic. I just said to Kirsten, yep, that's all done. And then 2 or 3 hours later, it's live. So that's the first one done. I shall now continue with the next 2. So that's all those sown. We had 38, so basically 2 in each, and there was just 2 over, so I plonked those in anyway. That's the first time we've used this proper potting shed, and it worked really well. Don't know why I'm surprised, but you know, it's really cool. So now we have got also, this has just arrived, and it is, maybe one-handed is a good idea. We've got some raspberries. So some bare root raspberry canes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they are, whatever that says, a rubus ideus raspberry glenample. Okay, so not very far to take these. We've got some rhubarb in there that were planted about a month ago, and then it's left this half of the bed, which they are going to go in there. So we'll take these into the greenhouse. I must work out exactly where all these foundations are. That's going to be definitely in the next week. I'm going to work on this, go and order some wood to do some raised beds, and we'll have this big vegetable patch all bedded up in the next couple of weeks. So I've just moved that table that I made and put that into here, so that will be absolutely fine for staging. We'll have one of these trays underneath so that the water, we can water it from below to keep everything moist. Not that we keep it too moist during the winter, but so yeah, perfect. Those seeds that I sort of like just tested, because I thought a lot of the seeds were dead, and there were some of the spring onions were just too old. But yeah, we just put a mix of stuff in here, and some's been successful. Got some beetroot. We've got a random tomato. I didn't put any tomatoes in there, so that must have just revived with the watering and everything. It must have been sat there. Some dwarf beans, some peas, and some spring onions. So we'll see if we get anything from those. A few house plants that I've done earlier, those spider plant babies that I've repotted. And one of the little ice plants, the sedums, they're doing well. So Kirsten's is the main cut-in greenhouse, which is next door. But we'll get these watered and then plant those raspberries.
This section's looking a bit different. I dug out that huge Phoebe. I did get a little bit of help with the roots. There was a big clump of like the crocosmia there. There's still loads of crocosmia. There's some there. There's loads underneath there, so I'm not too worried. There's still some over there and there. And then while we were doing the border over here, Darren found this like sucker offshoot thing of that's rhododendron, isn't it? I think it is. That's rhododendron. So we've planted it in there. And then I need to work on this, because get rid of some of this moss and all that sort of thing. I might try and get that fern out. I haven't decided yet. I quite like it, but I'd also quite like some other plants in there. And then we went to the garden centre the other day and we picked this up. We both like these, I don't know what they're called, pittospernums. Yeah, this one's got that sort of variegated leaf, even a bit of pink on there and the darker branches. So this is going to go out here somewhere. Maybe there-ish, maybe forward a bit. So I'm going to dig a hole to plant it. There we go. Planted. What's next? What's the next thing to do? I'm not quite sure how to tackle this, but I guess get a trug and start pulling out weeds. Although this looks to me like Aqualevius. A lot of this does. Yeah, that does as well, look. And I really like Aqualevius, so, but there's definitely grass and things, so I'm gonna go get a trug and make a start. You watching me from the other side of the fence? Eh? Are you watching me? That's me done for today. So I've got a lot of this moss and everything out. Pulled out more and more of the crocosmias and replanted a few little bits, some primroses and things, but overall it's just getting moss out and grass and weeds and ivy and all that sort of stuff. It's like an ongoing thing, but I'm pleased with the progress. It doesn't look like a lot, but it just gives me a lot of space for planting now.
Yeah, need something to clip that open. Right, so we've got 6 of these. Pretty simple to plant these up. All we've got to do is get into it to start with, which we've just done. The important thing with raspberries is you don't plant them too deeply. the roots need to be fairly close to the soil surface. I tend to plant quite deeply most shrubs for things, but these definitely need to be pretty close to the surface. So let's have a look at them. We have got, are they all the same then? Raspberry, yeah, they're all both the same. So search 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Tied together. So they say to put these about, is it 60 centimetres apart? So half of this bed will easily take the 6. There shouldn't be a problem with that at all. So 2 rows of 3. This bed had a hell of a lot of stuff in it before. So there was rosemary, there was some fennel, I found some potatoes, all sorts of stuff. Oh, there's mint. So I'm expecting some of that to come back next year, but we'll just have to deal with that as and when. So all we're going to do is, when we can untangle that, small hole, bury the root. Actually, that's a big one, so let's do one of the smaller ones here. And push back, and that is not very deep at all. It should be fine. Next one about here. It's got a bit more root to it, that one. I shall firm that in better in a minute with my boot when I'm standing up. And then just get these next 4 done. I'll come back to you in a second. So I've got these in, just want to firm them down now with my boot. And the only problem is Jenny likes sticks. And these look like sticks. So I have warned her, but we shall see. If all of a sudden there's 1 or 2 missing, we'll know who to blame, won't we? Oi! Won't we? Eh? Right. So there was 7. There was that tiny little one was there as well. So I've planted that in between the rows, and we'll see if that comes to anything. Only had a little bit of root on. Condition wise, they weren't bad. I got them from, I think I got them from Thompson and Morgan. Thompson and Morgan? Morgan and Thompson? Well, you know the one. From Amazon, through Amazon. And they came within a couple of days, so I can't complain at that. So this bed is for raspberries, Jack Russells and rhubarb. That's the neighbour's hedge all cut back now, so it doesn't go over 2 hours. Just past the oil tank, there's still something to do up there, but I'll need the step ladder for that, and that's just cutting back with, it's cutting back that elder and 1 or 2 other things. But yeah, this, which was massively overlapping, and I needed a severe cutback, has been done. So I want to wash the car, ready for Kirsten to take to Nottingham tomorrow, and that's what I still need to work on up there, but that's a step ladder job. It's really out of order, but anyway, it is what it is. This place, this side has been tidied up down here. I do need another big wood order soon because I've got a load more projects. And yeah, this was a really thin barbed wire fence just along there to keep the cows out, which it wasn't working. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pallets, which has created a very rustic little fence for us. The big gap, which needs, well, probably 2 more, certainly 1, and then a bit of wood to fill in the gap. Otherwise I'll wait for, and I'll put that on whenever. I'm going to dig this out, and this area down here I'm going to membrane and maybe get some sort of gravel or pebble or whatever, and then we've just got a nice little sort of non-weedy area where we can store stuff that the cows aren't interested in. So maybe not any nice tall plants, but there'll be 1 or 2 things which this will be ideal for. So I'm going to wind it up this week. It's been a busy day. It's 2 o'clock-ish now. Kirsten is doing some work on the other side of the garden, so I'm going to go and help her, and then I'm going to ask her if she'll upload this vlog and edit it and everything. So hopefully it'll be out either today or tomorrow. What is it? Today's Friday the 1st of November, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, anyway, hope you've had a good week. If you could subscribe if you haven't already, that would help, and leave a positive comment and a thumbs up. Anything like that really helps. So thank you, and take care, and see you in a week or so's time.